I committed a heinous act of my pregnant friend. I extracted her baby with a scalpel, intending to claim it as my own. I am Taylor Parker, and this is my horrifying tale. The year was 2020 in Texas. I was plagued by the constant fear of my boyfriend abandoning me, leading me to devise a dreadful plan. I was incapable of bearing children due to a past hysterectomy. However, I was desperate to bind my boyfriend to me. I deceived him into believing I was pregnant and maintained this charade for several months. I procured a silicone belly online, fabricated ultrasound images, wore maternity attire, and even hosted a gender reveal party. I broadcasted my supposed due date, October 10th, 2020, on social media. I had meticulously planned everything. On October 9th, a day before my alleged delivery, I planned to visit my friend Reagan Simmons, who was heavily pregnant with her second child. I had met her in a group for expectant mothers and singled her out as my victim. She was thrilled that our due dates were close and warmly welcomed me into her home. Seizing an opportunity, I attacked her with a hammer from my purse, causing her to collapse. I stabbed her twice with a knife as her 3-year-old daughter watched in horror. I then used a scalpel to cut open Reagan's abdomen. I had prepared for this by watching numerous instructional videos. I forcibly removed the baby from her womb and made my escape. I was pulled over by the police for speeding a few kilometers from the crime scene. I claimed to have given birth roadside and that the baby wasn't breathing. We were rushed to an Oklahoma hospital where the baby was pronounced dead. The doctors quickly discerned that I hadn't been pregnant, causing my elaborate lie to unravel. I was promptly arrested. The prosecution argued that I had premeditated the crime. After deliberating for over an hour, the judge sentenced me to death to prevent further atrocities. Reagan Simmons had fought valiantly for her baby till the end. Her nails were discovered on the trail, evidence of her final attempt to stop me from taking her child. What are your thoughts on this case?
Did you know this controversial dress is now involved in an attempted murder case? 8 years ago, this dress went viral online. It caused controversy because people were arguing whether it was blue and black or white and gold. It was actually around the wedding of Keir Johnston and his wife Grace that the dress initially sparked the debate. Grace's mum had sent her daughter a picture of the dress to ask if she should wear it to the wedding. They then started debating what the colour of the dress actually was. A guest at the wedding then posted the picture of the dress to Tumblr and the whole world got involved. The couple even went on the Ellen show to discuss it. However, Keir is now accused of attempting to murder his wife. He's been accused of DV over a period of 11 years. It's alleged that he tried to strangle her, threatened to kill her, and threatened her with a knife.
People have been asking me for more crazy accidents that happen at national parks. And I researched this for one of my podcast episodes, but I didn't realize how many people fall off the side of the Grand Canyon every year. They say on particularly high fatality years, it's as much as one person a month. One of the craziest stories about this though is actually about this woman right here, Dee Dee Johnson. So Dee Dee was a fashion designer in Los Angeles in the 40s and 50s, best known for inventing the pedal pusher, which is actually the pants that she's wearing there. And one day, Dee Dee takes her whole team from Los Angeles to the Grand Canyon because she wants to do a photo shoot there. And she's walking around like she owns the place, and she's not being all that safe by the ledge, when all of a sudden she takes a step backwards and she falls off the ledge. She lands on a smaller ledge, basically like this. She's holding on super tight, but her legs and the pressure of her body are pushing her towards the actual edge. And this drop right here is almost the height of the Statue of Liberty. If she falls off, she's definitely going to die. So this one park ranger who was screaming at her to get away from the ledge sees that she goes over and immediately grabs this rope. He's able to get it down to her, tie it under her armpits, and start pulling her up. But the force of the rope is a lot, so when Dee Dee comes up over the edge, she's alive, but she is completely topless in front of all the photographers.
Guys, I thought my week couldn't get worse. Haley passed away from cancer, and now this. And they said even the worst of it. I could have went the rest of my life without seeing this, guys. The rest of my life. But I got a question. I'm going to move myself around real quick. Where in the hell is that it? This right here? What is that? Where's that? This is... Guys, my week is getting worse and worse. Allegedly for educational purposes only. Oh. Guys, who in the hell gave this man a tablet? Who thought it was a good idea? Who is he sending these pictures to? What if he's answering the question, what that mouth do? Allegedly for educational purposes only. Guys, I gotta go bleach my eyeballs. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Come to the road. Come to the road. Come to the road.
Get like
One leg and I'll beat your ass, bitch. One fucking leg.
This is the house where a 2-year-old lost his life. His 22-year-old mom threw his body in a dumpster. His dismembered body was found months later, and while he was missing, his mom and his family partied on Tybee Island. Neighbors and people from the community came to protest and help look for him, but his family never looked for him once. Late at night, a neighbor would play baby crying noises.
Why didn't you put out missing posters?
Why did you start looking for him?
You can put out flyers. You can put out flyers.
Y'all don't understand.
What's his favorite food?
Listen, just please give me a chance to board him.
What was his favorite food
Bag of
then?
That's all I have to say.
She wasn't crying that night. She wanted to come in the road and kick people's ass.
And I'm praying for me too.
And tell us the facts and we'll go home.
Hey,
Well, how come the camera's here now, but the cameras wasn't here when Quentin disappeared?
God. What? You get it? What's that? You got a question? Hey, thanks.
Come to the road. Come to the road. Come to the road. One leg and I'll beat your ass, bitch. One fucking leg and you can get it.
They know where that baby at. They know where the fuck that baby at.
Justice for Quentin.
But DSS took my motherfucking kids, took my baby at 7 motherfucking days old just because I was living in a motherfucking motel. But I'll tell you one thing, I took great care of mine.
Even after this footage, it took weeks for Quentin's mom to be arrested. She has been in jail the past few months, and tomorrow she has a hearing.
This is so sick and fucking twisted! Sick and twisted!
What if I told you O.J. Simpson was first team all sick? Fault. He most likely brutally murdered his ex-wife and got away with it. Led by a legal team of Johnny Cochran and Kim Kardashian's father, that family takes 0 losses, which leads to the strong possibility that O.J. is Khloe's father. Jody has zaddy issues. Before that, he stole his best friend's girlfriend, married her. The same man that drove O.J.'s Bronco in the slowest police chase of all time. He's loyal to the soil, to a fault. When asked to protest racial inequality, he responded by saying, "I'm not black. I'm OJ. This brother transcends race." He starred in his own hidden camera prank show, where he fulfilled his wildest dream of becoming a white man going undercover in a nursing home. He wrote the best-selling novel If I Did It, where OJ breaks down how he would have committed the murder if he had done it. My son was snitching on himself to critical acclaim. Unheard of. He spent 9 years in prison for stealing his own sports memorabilia. Ever heard of eBay, stupid? After the trial, he found peace and quiet at Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch, a diabolical duo. He wanted to conduct his first interview post-trial on pay-per-view. Bitch, you ain't Money Mayweather? In order to conjure up a more relatable image to jurors, he had his house redesigned before trial to appear more black. This man took down the Michael Jackson posters and hung up the Michael Jackson poster.
I'll never see another birthday. It's over with, Joe. If you fucking love me, say that shit on, because this gonna be the last time they never say it. If you love me, you really love me, call my phone, because it's gonna be the last time you'll be able to say it, Joe. I just fucked up. It ain't nothing I can do about it. Ain't nothing I can do about it. I just fucked up, bro. I love that woman dearly, bro. I love her dearly, bro. I love that lady dearly, bro. On my soul, bro. On my soul, Joe. Like, I'm hurt. I'm hurt like a motherfucker. I'm hurt like a motherfucker, Joe, because I can't even believe I just did. And I don't even know what just pushed me to snap like that, Joe. I don't even know what just pushed me to snap like that, Joe. That shit just, I just lost it. I just lost it, bro. It's over with. It's over with, G. All that. Man, look. Ain't no motherfucker. Motherfucker ain't gonna see me no more, G. I ain't running. I've been on a run over a year and a half. I'm not running from these people no more, bro. They come get me, bro. They come get me, bro. They come get me. That's all I'm gonna say. They come get me, Joe.
I believe he was trying to kill me and leave no witnesses.
This is the story of Lasagna AG, a woman who experienced a nightmare ordeal one fateful day in Chicago. In a chilling incident, her ex-boyfriend and father of her child launched a violent attack, shooting Lasagna 11 times in front of their son, and shooting her grandmother and uncle 8 times, leaving everyone fighting for their lives. This shocking event was the result of years of abuse that Lasagna endured in her relationship. But this is not just a story of tragedy, it's a story of resilience, courage, and Lasagna's inner strength and bravery to escape an abusive relationship, as well as her desire to share her story in order to prevent violence like this from happening to other women. Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Chicago, Illinois. 24-year-old Lasagna, a resident of Chicago, was in a relationship with 27-year-old Larry Sistrunk. The relationship between the two was fine at first, but shortly after Lasagna gave birth to her son in 2017, the abuse started. What began as a small dispute gradually escalated over time, transforming into a series of escalating conflicts and physical violence. The abuse reached an alarming and unbearable level, with Lasagna contemplating fatally harming herself. Lasagna lost her mother at a young age and did not have a lot of family, therefore she did not have a strong support in her life. Larry came along and exploited her vulnerable circumstances to gain control over her life. Recognizing the abusive nature of her relationship, Lasagna summoned her inner strength and resilience, determined to break free and create a safe environment for her son. In a bold move, she quietly secured her own apartment without informing her abuser. However, he eventually discovered her new residence, violating the restraining order by forcefully entering her home and even resisting arrest when law enforcement intervened.
That girl gnawed through duct tape to save her life. 7-year-old Erica Pratt was playing outside of her house with her sister and a neighbor when all of a sudden a white car parked in front of their house. There were 2 men in the car. Then both men starts calling her name, Erica, and they kept telling her to go to them. However, Erica was like, nope, and within seconds, the guy from the passenger side got out and grabbed her. The other kids tried to run up to him and pull her back. However, the guys just pushed them back and ran to the car, then popped open the trunk and put Erica inside. Then they took off with the quickness. The kids then went to tell Erica's grandparents, who were at a block party at the end of the street, and the grandparents called authorities right away. So Erica's guardians were actually her grandparents. However, she saw her grandparents as her real parents. So back to Erica's situation. Erica was in this stuffy trunk with these strangers driving her to God knows where. However, she kind of timed how long the drive was. When the car had parked and the car had stopped, she estimated the drive to be about 25 minutes. So the 2 men carried Erica into the house while covering her eyes so that she doesn't see any of her surroundings. Then the 2 men bound her hands and feet with duct tape. They then blindfolded her. The 2 men made their way over to the telephone where they dialed Erica's house number. They already knew the number. When Erica's grandmother answered, they demanded $100,000 in cash in exchange for Erica's safe return. Obviously, these perps knew who Erica and her family were. They let Erica speak to her grandmother as proof that she was alright. They then hung up the phone after they spoke, picked Erica up, opened a door, went down some steps, and placed her on the floor. Mind you, this whole time, Erica was blindfolded. So wherever Erica was, she felt like it was a cold, damp place. Then she heard the 2 men walk back up the stairs and shut the door. While Erica was placed in this very dark and cold room, she listened to her surroundings. She heard the men murmuring something outside the door, but she couldn't make out what it was they were saying. However, she was still able to hear that they were close. Erica then realized that she was not too far from home. Remember, I said that she estimated the drive to be about 20 minutes. Erica kept listening to see if the men would eventually leave. Then a few moments later, she didn't hear them anymore, so she took off her blindfold. Mind you, she was still duct taped, so it was not an easy task for her. She looked around and realized she was in the basement. She noticed as she looked around that there were a couple of window panels. Although not very big, she figured that she'd be able to fit through them. Now, Erica was determined to leave. She refused to be a victim of whatever that situation was. So she began to gnaw through the duct tape. She then freed her hands. Then with her hands, she ripped off the duct tape that bounded her feet together. And to be extra sure, Erica very quickly but silently tiptoed up the steps to the door. She put her ear right next to it, and she did not hear a single sound. She assumed that they either left or they were asleep. Erica then tiptoed back down, grabbed one of the tools from the basement, climbed on top of a few boxes, and with all of her might, she smashed out a basement window and screamed for help. Luckily for her, Even close to midnight, there were a group of children playing across the street. They then quickly ran to where they heard the screams. They saw little Erica's head screaming for help. One of the kids, a young boy, smashed another part of the window panel so that he can easily pull Erica out. The kid reached into the window. Erica grabs his hand and the boy pulls her out with all of his strength. The boy was only a few years older than Erica, not even a teen yet, and the basement was not an easy reach. He pulled her out in a matter of seconds. Erica was free. Then a little girl from the group, who was on her bike at the time, rode her bike to a couple of cops that she knew were around the corner. Then she said, "We just saved a kidnapped girl. You guys gotta come with me. I'll show you to her." The cops then made their way over there stat, and within the hour, the police then took Erica to the hospital and evaluated her and brought her back to her grandma's house within the hour. Hours later, before dawn, the cops apprehended the two men that kidnapped Erica. James Burns, 29, and Edward Johnson, 23, were captured. The kidnappers apparently knew the Pratt family. It just so happened that earlier that year, Erica's uncle, Erica's grandma's son, had passed away. And there was this rumor that there was an insurance claim that they cashed in on. However, the grandmother claims that it was all just a rumor. But those men took that risk, and they were determined to get what they can. They seemed real desperate, obviously. And so they kidnapped Erica and asked for that exact amount from the supposed insurance claim, which was $100,000. Edward pleaded guilty in May 2003, while James was convicted a month later. Erica was named Times Person of the Week as a reminder that not all abductions end in tears. In May 2003, United States Attorney General John Ashcroft presented her with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's National Courage Award for her unyielding persistence and boldness.
So we're here to talk to you about Sarah. I'm going to show you a picture. Do you know Sarah?
I don't know.
Okay. Sarah went missing. I'll show you some pictures of her on the day.
Okay.
Sarah went missing on Wednesday, and her parents obviously and her family are really worried about her now. The inquiry that's been conducted so far has led us to come and speak to you about it and to see what you know about Sarah, okay? So, would you like to, do you know where Sarah is?
No.
No? Okay. Do you know anything about what happened to her?
I know that she went missing up in London somewhere, about a week ago or so, just from what I've got on the news.
Okay. Have you ever personally met her?
No, not personally, no.
Have you had any interactions with her at all?
No, why would I have personal interactions with her?
Well, it's very difficult because I can't go into a lot of the evidence because obviously that's not part of what an urgent interview is, okay? This interview is just about trying to find her. Because
Sure.
she's been missing for a while now.
I'm sat in handcuffs and you're asking me what I know her, so you must have something to say that I know her.
Well, as I said, you've been arrested on suspicion of kidnap, and we believe that you've been involved in her disappearance and taking her away from her family.
Okay.
So we are trying to find her. Obviously, everybody is very worried about her. She's got, parents. She's got she's siblings. She's got a boyfriend. There's a lot of people that care about her.
Sure.
You've seen her on the news, the number of people that are reaching out about her.
Sure.
Out there looking for her every day, and she's missing. And our primary job here is to find her and to try and find her safe and well.
Okay.
Now we believe that you know something about where she is, and that's why we're here to look for her and to try and find her. And that's why we're talking to you now, is to try and get you to have a good think about it and tell us anything you can about whether we might be able to find her.
Okay. Well, I am in financial, and I've been lent on by, I don't know who they are. They're a group, a gang, whatever. And they told me, right, I need to go and pick up girls and get them to them. So I said, not happening. And it then came through that they were going to harm my family, take them away, and they'll use them instead. At that point I had no option to try and find somebody. So I don't, there's a couple of names. I was told a place to take her. That's it. That is all I know. To this group of people.
Tell me about them. I need to find them. Tell me everything you know that I
Okay.
think that you'll help me.
There was a white Sprinter van. They it was between sort of Len and Maidstone area that I dropped her off. I still don't know. I don't know. They just I just parked my car up, and then the van come up behind me, flashed me. They all jumped out, and then they took this girl. They said you've done good, and I don't know whether my family's going to be alright still. But they threatened to take my family away from me. So at that point, I'm doing what I can to protect my family. That's it. So all I know is that it was a roundabout. We could drive there now. I could show you. But roughly, I don't know Lenham Maidstone area at all.
If we did it on Google, Maps, like Google Earth, if we drove it, would you be
Right.
able to do it?
I drove from Ashford to Maidstone.
The Long Island serial killer has finally allegedly been caught, almost 13 years after he murdered 4 women on Long Island, New York. The Long Island serial killer, or LISK case, is a case that's haunted people for years, and it really was launched in 2010 when 4 women's bodies were discovered in Long Island, New York. 4 women who would be known as the Gilgo 4. These 4 women, Melissa, Maureen, Megan, and Amber, were all sex workers in the New York City area, and they had all at the time of their disappearances seemingly vanished from the face of the earth. All 4 of their bodies, though, were eventually found on Gilgo Beach in Long Island, New York. Now, these disappearances took place over a number of years. The earliest was in 2007 and the last was in 2010. But in total, there have actually been 7 bodies found in that area that people think may be linked to the same serial killer, including the unidentified remains of a toddler who was 16 to 24 months in age. And the sad thing about this is that that toddler was actually the daughter of another victim. This was confirmed through DNA in the remains that were found, which means that most likely the killer murdered both of them at the same time. So for years, the LISK case was a huge case and nobody had any concrete leads. There was no DNA evidence. There were no surveillance videos. There was really nothing. That is, until just recently, today, when this guy was arrested. Rex Heuermann, a 59-year-old architect who worked in Manhattan but lived very close to Gilgo Beach. Rex, interestingly enough, is a family man. He's married, he has 2 kids, and he works in a powerful position at the architecture firm that he's employed with. Authorities had been searching for a link between Heuermann and the Gilgo 4 for a long time, but finally, just recently, they got a break when they recovered this pizza box from a garbage can. And when they tested some of the DNA that was found on this pizza box pictured here, it was almost a perfect match to the DNA found on the hair of victim Megan Waterman. At this point, though, there are a lot of things that allegedly link Rex to this case. For example, cell phone bills show that he met with 3 of the victims before they went missing. Records from a burner cell phone that he was using also show that Rex placed menacing phone calls to the relative of Melissa Barthélemy, who was a victim of his. He also had a fake profile on Tinder, and he extensively contacted massage parlors and different escort services trying to arrange these sexual liaisons. Now, what's interesting and that I don't see a lot of people talking about on here is that his wife's DNA has also been connected to the murders. Apparently, authorities collected a water bottle from outside of the Heuermann home, and his wife's DNA was a match to a piece of female hair that they found on tape that was used to bind 2 of the victims, and it was also a match to DNA that was found on a belt that was used to tie up a victim's feet. One of his phones also was linked to tons of disturbing searches. I'm talking about CP, I'm talking about assault material, watching videos of women who were tied up with bruised faces, all this horrific stuff. And the cell phone also conducted tons of searches about the Long Island serial killer, why they hadn't caught him yet, and all other sorts of weird things that tie into the case. So what do you think? Is this LISK? Let me know in the comments below and I'll keep you updated as soon as we find out more.
No, silly, to dry it. But it exploded. and they were both found dead.
Her arms were cut off. Her legs were cut off. Her ears were cut off. Her tongue was cut off.